I was just reminiscing. I notice a lot of people, they refer to an old jail story, correctional story, prison story, detention story to teach people maybe that's not the right way to go. They're right. But yeah, for a long time, some of them, they really seem to me like they're still flexing. They're still flexing their prison beef. They haven't come off the yard yet. You know, the kids were watching TV and one of the kids called the other kid goofy and fucking the guy snapped because he heard the word goof. He snapped like he was still on the yard, but he was surrounded by all the kids in the neighborhood. No, I see a lot of that. Their old lady will use the word in disrespect. And it's fists. Inside, somebody calls it to them and they stare at the table. That's sometimes, a lot of times, how it is. But it's not the way people tell you it is. No. Something could go down. Everybody gets told to hit the ground in the yard. If you get caught near something, it doesn't matter if it's yours. If you're the closest person to it, you're you're owning it. What else are you gonna do? You're caught up in the politics, so you better pay attention. You also, if you have an addiction, it could cost you your life because you're gonna go into debt. And if you don't have somebody outside feeding money to these people, you're gonna end up some kind of mule or some kind of something. Maybe you'll be one of those guys with no 4 or 5 front teeth gone around her. I'm trying to say that with a straight face. No, I learned my lesson a couple times. I haven't been in trouble in more than 2 or 3 decades, maybe 3 decades, 2 decades. It's been a very, very long time. So anything that I say is ancient history. Anything that I say, everybody has been tried, convicted, done their time, probably old, died, and over with by now. But it's ancient history. It's not a unsolved crime. It's on the books. But anyways, we were up in Monteith, North Bay Jail. I got held over and put another 6 months on my sentence for possession of a controlled substance. For what reason? I was in an AA meeting and this package of tobacco was floating around. I didn't own it. There was 7 grams of heroin in it. I didn't know what was in it. The package was seized. The judge gave me 6 months more time on my sentence as an institutional sentence because he didn't think I had intention or that it was mine. But it was in my possession and I did plead guilty to it. So I got 6 months. I went from there into Monteith with an old friend that I knew from Barry Jail, Steve Wanta. Steve was a funny guy, storyteller, always 6 shooting guns in the air, stories about Ruans and Dunlop and Main Street. He's a while now. Yeah. Anyways, there's another guy up there. I don't know his name. I call him Nick from Bad Boys because that's who he makes me think of as fucking Sean Penn after Viking. I was working out in the gym at the curl station. Me. Yep. And he comes in and he's talking to me, going about his business, doing a bit of a workout. We're just jabbering. Small talk. I go back to forearm curls and he goes into this preacher curl seat that I was in. This other guy comes to the door and the guard looks in and counts. How many? Two. Okay, one more. We only allowed so many guys in the weight cage because we use free weights. Because we use free weights, when we come into the weight cage, the guard padlocks the door, and he's supposed to stay there, but he didn't. They don't. They just go for a walk and have a smoke. Nothing happens until it happens. So they had a carryover beef from North Bay. I put myself in a different side of the gym from both of them because they're verbally arguing. It was relatively obvious. It was very obvious. Guard should have known. The other guy walked up. Steve was sitting at the curl, staring at his weights, and he should have had his head up, but he didn't. He was looking at the weight. They're mouthing off, but he's still, fuck you. Fucking, I'm sitting there thinking, what the fuck? The other guy picks up a 10-pound flat weight, like he's gonna load it on a bar. And he doesn't. In a split second, he flips it inside his towel, and it's swinging in the air, and Steve catches it straight across the face, knocks him off the preacher seat, boom, onto the floor, holding his face together, running for the door, trying to scream for the guard, but he can't even scream. His face is just crushed. I don't know how he's even thinking. Guard opens the door, he runs past the guard into the gym, falls down on the floor 3 or 4 times. His feet are all running the whole time. He's face first on the floor and his feet are still standing up and in a full run. Picks himself back up and he's still running. Blindly into the bathroom, covering his face with water, trying to stop the bleeding, trying to stop the swelling of the bleeding. It was actually quite horrifying. People will tell a cool story about that. Remember when so-and-so got so-and-so? Fuck, he took him right out. I've heard the stories. But is that how you want to end up? Somebody younger than you is intimidated by you. They're bigger than you, but they're intimidated by you and they don't want to fuck around. They just want to end it. You got a big mouth. Steve has a big mouth and he doesn't know when to shut up. Really, that's what it comes down to. The other guy, that's why he was sitting down and still mouthing off. He doesn't shut up. So the other guy come up with a weight and fucking fed it to him, literally. I sat there and I watched it. He went down, he went after him again. He was fortunate enough to get up and run. Then he was ditching, doing something, getting rid of whatever, when Steve went out the door and around the kitchen with the slipping and falling on the gymnasium floor. Up in Monteith. Yeah. Oh, you can just come up here. It's a medium security, and you can play baseball, and you get to take out the garbage. Oh, and you could maybe get on a work crew. Probably not, but maybe you could get on a work crew. Or maybe you could sit around in a World War II POW camp system. Yeah, that'll never happen here. We're too much of a family situation. This is a family atmosphere. Things like that don't happen here. And his life will never be the same. It's changed forever. Never seen it coming. Never knew when to shut up. Everybody knows when they should shut up. Even the people you're talking to know when you should shut up. The difference is, I guess the question is, are you talking to somebody that you should shut up when it's time to shut up? Because they will act. Steve wouldn't shut up with the wrong guy. Almost cost him his life. If we weren't in a system, he would be a dead man. For what? Tough talk. Tough talk. Tough talk doesn't fly in the prison system. If you want to run your mouth and talk tough in prison, buy your body bag before. I don't have to tell you that, because you're going to have to buy a body bag before you go in anyways. But tough talk will get you. Tough talk is a guarantee that you will not get the deposit on your body bag back. Neither will your family.